Hi, welcome. Today I'll be showing you the Sinn EZM2, also known as the Hydro in some forms. This is the EZM2 GSG9 model. The GSG9 model slightly differs from the standard Hydro in that it has a signed dial with the GSG9 logo at the bottom, and the crown is on the left hand side. The GSG9 is actually a German, I believe they're part of the police force, but they deal in border control, counter-terrorism, similar to the American SWAT, I believe. But basically this is a watch they actually used. A few years ago there were actually a load sold which were actually used by the GSG9 and went back to Sinn, and on the back were engraved with numbers showing, so they changed actually to the newer model for Sinn UX. This watch is a 41mm case, has a rotating bezel. It's a relatively nice action, a little bit of back play, but still quite nice. Date window at the 3 o'clock position. What makes this watch unique is the fact that the whole movement is submerged in oil. It's a quartz movement because a automatic would struggle with the medium oil being around it. The reason why this has got oil in there is for water resistancy. Most watches, realistically dive watches are, say 300 meters, which is quite satisfactory for 99% of all divers out there. And occasionally you get some going to 1,000, 2,000 or 3,900 in case of some Rolex deep sea dwellers. But this one takes it to the next level. The movement itself can withstand a pressure of 5 kilometers underwater. At that point, the pressure will become severe enough that it will actually hold the second hand from moving. But the case can go down to 11 kilometers, I believe. And I can't remember the last time anyone went that deep, but it's a pretty amazing feat. The oil, there is allowance for movement. I believe on the back here is a slight diaphragm, so there is a small amount of movement. You'll find sometimes in extreme cold, or if you haven't worn the watch for a bit, you can get a little bit of an air bubble in the oil itself, which at first is a bit off-putting, but when you put it on your wrist, after a little bit when it's warmed up, the bubble will dissipate and disappear. And also you get this strange phenomenon of being able to see the watch at really extreme angles. It almost gives it a smartwatch kind of look to it. When you look at it from an angle like that, you can still see the hands. You shouldn't be able to, but it is quite impressive. It's a great go-to watch, being a quartz movement. The quartz movement is good. I believe it's an ETA. I don't know which ETA movement it is. It's not bad. It's a pretty good movement, but it's not a cost certificate movement, so it's good for 3 seconds, maybe a month, or maybe a little bit worse than that. But it's great. You can just go to grab it. It's a great watch. I like the fact the crown being on the left hand side, so it doesn't dig into your your hand, sorry. And actually on the wrist, my wrist size, I think I'm just about 6 3/4, I believe. It's lovely. It just sits nice and snug to the wrist. It's not too tall, so it will fit under a shirt. It's shirt cuffs. It's got the standard H pattern bracelet used by Sinn. This watch was replaced several years ago, about 10 years ago, by the UX model, which I'll do a review of on a later date. But the only downside with it being filled with oil is the battery life being about 5 years, is you can't just take it to any watchmaker to have it serviced. It will actually have to go back to Sinn. I believe there is now a Sinn service a service centre in England, but I don't know if they actually do the oil changes as well. I don't believe they do. But it's got a nice sandblast finish to it, a matte finished, which it's nice. It doesn't tend to show very many marks or anything like that. This model I have here is part of a aluminium box set. I don't have it with me at the moment, but inside this aluminium box set, being one of the early ones, it came with a video cassette, a flashlight for any of the American viewers, and rubber strap and strut changing tools, and a little bit about the GSG9, which is a nice touch. The later ones came with a DVD, which was far better, and a ceramic pocket knife, which I managed to get hold of at a later date. The loom is a little bit compromised by the oil. It could be better. It's not its strong point. It's visible if you use a flashlight to shine it on there. You can see the loom for a bit, but it does die. I don't know if it's part of the oil being in there. I believe it's now silicone oil. I believe at first it was Teflon oil, but Sinn later changed that on their servicing. The only downside, obviously, when you do send it off for a service, you have to wait to get it back, which is can take a bit of time with most watch manufacturers out there, but it's a nice piece. Also, it's getting quite rare, so you don't see so many of these around anymore. And I personally, it's just a nice watch, something different. You have the S logo. I don't know if you can see that on camera, maybe not. On the crown, it's just something different. Something interesting and different. Okay, hope you enjoyed that, and hopefully there'll be more videos to come. Bye.